We've been asking everyone what their hot take prediction for themselves is for the season.
This year we'll make the playoffs. Hot take.
We're here! We're here!
Knicks tape, baby. We here.
New York, we here.
Hey, did you hear? What's up? We here.
We are here. We here.
Hello?
We here.
We're here!
Yes, sir.
We here. We here. We here.
Knicks family, we are here. Yes. That was put out by the New York Knicks earlier today on their YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. The New York Knicks, as you guys already know, clinch. They clinch a playoff spot. Can be no worse than the 6th seed. And Knicks fans celebrated last night. Everybody celebrated last night. Everybody was happy. Everybody celebrated. For the first time since 2013, the New York Knicks are in the playoffs. And I mean legitimately in the playoffs. I'm not talking about the play-in. We're talking about the playoffs. Yes, New York Knicks fans, we're here. We're in the building. Something to celebrate. Something to feel good about. Made it to the playoffs, and he got 3 games left to the season, and we still have more work to do. The Knicks still have some more work to do. They can get to the 4th seed. It's possible. It's there, right? Still got some work to do. We'll see what they're going to do with it, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks play the San Antonio Spurs tonight. It's an important one. They need to get this win. If they want to move up to that 4th seed, they need to get this win tonight. And Miami plays Philadelphia tonight. So there is a chance that they take a loss. The Knicks win, Miami loses. The Knicks are back in that 4th seed with 2 games left to the season. So let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right down to it. Let's get greasy with it. We got Andy, we got Kev, G-Mo, we got Josh in the chat. What's poppin', fellas? How y'all feeling today? Andy, how are you feeling
great,
today, man? Yeah, I know. He forgot the rules, but we're gonna forgive it today.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought it was a free for all right then and there. You say, "How you guys feeling?" So I didn't know you were going to this one and that one and that one. All right. Okay. I follow the rules. At least I try to follow the rules. Okay. So I apologize.
Well, I'm gonna come to Andy, then I'm gonna come to Cornerstone.
Yeah, so Sim, let me say, we here, bro. So, that's all that matters, Kevin always with the false start. So, let's hope his championships, aspirations don't fall that short. Yeah, bro, we here. I'm really happy, really, really happy. When I woke up today and I saw, the message that the Knicks clinched, I was so happy. I counted it a couple of days ago that we had those 2 W's, but there was a chance that if other teams lose, we're gonna clinch. I still want those W's, till the end of the season to get, to that 4th seed, and let's go.
Yeah. I think it's important that the Knicks don't let up, right? They keep the pressure on. They stay focused on what it is that they want to do and what they want to accomplish. We've been talking about it all season long. Small goals, and they've got to continue to focus on small goals and accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish. They celebrated yesterday, but it's back to work today. You know what I'm saying? It's back to work today because I'm pretty sure that they want to have home court advantage in the first round. And in order to do that, they've got to get to the 4th seed. So they got to stay focused. Cornerstone.
I am so freaking happy right now. When I woke up this morning, the wife told me that we clinched. I just started screaming. The reason why I started screaming, because of my joy, and to all the people in the beginning of the season that doubted this team, even with the Tom Thibodeau coaching. You heard all the cliches. You heard, oh, players got to play. Coaches can't do. Coaches don't make it a pressure. Coaches don't play. All this stuff, and they pretty much put all of that to rest. We're in uncharted territory right now. We're in uncharted territory, and right now I'm just so proud of this group. So proud. No matter what goes on in the playoffs for us, wherever the road ends for us, I'm so happy for this group. I haven't been like this for a long while, and now the expectations for next year are going to be, will be higher than what they were this year.
Right.
So I'm real happy right now. So let's go. Right. Let's go.
Okay. And you know what you said, I seen Josh, get his little devilish smirk on his face. You know what I'm saying? Because what you said, relates straight to his controversial video, to his video on the controversy. But go ahead, Josh.
Which I didn't see. I apologize. I got to check it out.
Salute the cat, salute the panel, salute the NBK family. We did it, guys. We here. You know what I'm saying? We're in the playoffs. Something that we've all been hoping for a very long time. Now the next step is for us to actually do something in the playoffs and then win some games. But I'm very, very proud of this team. I'm very proud of what they accomplished this season. Tom Thibodeau definitely, proved me wrong. I was the one that's saying that Tom Thibodeau is not playing on the floor. And I didn't expect this team to do much at the beginning of the season. But they definitely proved me wrong. And the expectations have changed. Things are now different. We expect the Knicks to win some games. We expect the Knicks to beat teams that they're supposed to beat. This is a really, good team. So I'm just really proud of the way that these guys have been playing, and big ups to Julius Randle for taking that next step in his career and leading the troops.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna come back to you, Josh. I'm gonna come back to you on this issue after I get around to everybody. All right, Steph. Good afternoon. Hey, how you feeling?
Good afternoon. I'm feeling pretty good. Shout out to the chat, you Sim, the panel. I came in late. Was there a particular question?
Other than how you just expressing our feelings about the Knicks making the playoffs, clinching that playoff spot.
Yeah, listen, I'm excited. I can't even, it's like, a child graduating from college or something. I can't even, when you didn't think they were going to make it, I can't even put it. I can't even put it into words right now, but I'm excited for the Knicks. I'm excited for the fans. I'm excited for myself, to see this team in the playoffs. Good days ahead for the Knicks, and us and all of us long-suffering Knicks fans. Good days ahead. I'm excited.
Yeah, good days ahead. G-Mo, because, we didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to get on last night when the news broke that the Knicks clinched. I mean, I don't know if it was actually breaking news because people kind of knew. If Boston lost, that the Knicks were going to clinch the spot. But, it still was exciting news. You know what I mean? I didn't get a chance to get on. G-Man, I don't think – I checked to see if you were on. I didn't see you on last night to talk about it.
I just had a tape segment, man. But, it's the words of the great Sam Cooke, man. It's been a long time coming, man. We it doesn't even feel real, man. Like I said, all my teams are terrible for the most part. Even though now the Mets have like a 7 game winning streak. Whatever. And of course, the King, young Zach, is in the building. But it's just what Tom Thibodeau has done this season is amazing. Right now, playoffs, everything is a cherry on top because what we used to have with Fizdale and all the freaking dysfunction in the front office. I mean, it just felt like we're always going to be in this weird quagmire where we're always going to hire the wrong GM, then they were going to draft the wrong guys, and then they were going to bring on the wrong coach, and just this ever-going cycle. But salute to, James Dolan. Well, he started from last year. He just hired the wrong guy, or 2 years ago with Steve Mills. Stay out the damn way. Let the basketball guys do the work. Even though I'm not necessarily sold on Leon Rose yet, for the most part, I give it to Tom Thibodeau's doing a bang job, a guy who's been maligned as too old to a coach. And even, some things regarding his defense or playing players I've agreed with in the past. But this is a guy, when you look at it, first year with the Bulls, even though I think they went there with Vinny Del Negro, he got them to the playoffs. Second year with the Wolves, they got there to the playoffs. So this guy knows what he's doing. He's getting guys on 1-year contracts that play like they're never going to see the back, like see a court again, or they're playing. Well, basically, are playing for contracts, but these guys are playing with a certain fervor. A culture has been established for the team. So I'm just happy, man. I never thought we were going to make the playoffs. I had them at 25 wins. They well surpassed that. I love the fact that they've proven me wrong. And it doesn't seem like a fluke. It doesn't seem like this is a 1-year thing in terms of, a culture build with guys that when they come to the Knicks, they expect to play hard on defense, play with a high level IQ. You know what I mean? Look at guys like even your boy, Obi, a guy that, I still think he's a weird ill fit with the team, but the guy's playing a lot better on defense, and he's taken to his versus, some other rookies would have been like screw it. I'm not going to sit and try to improve. I am who I am. So Tom Thibodeau, bang, bang job, suit to the Knicks. I'm just happy waiting for the playoffs to start.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I can't wait for the playoffs to start. There's still work to be done, though. Still work to be done. The Knicks have been focused on small goals all season long. Been working on small goals. Julius Randle tweeted yesterday, check it off the list. We are not close to done. So there's work to be done. And I think he knows it. The team knows it. Tom Thibodeau is going to keep them focused on the work that needs to be done in order for them to continue to accomplish small goals, or the goals that they have set forth for themselves. And to get to the long-term goal, you take care of the short-term goals, the small goals. That's what this team has been focused on the entire season. And I think that's where they will continue to be focused. And so the next goal, of course, is to get to that 4th seed. Right? Get to the 4th seed. They dropped down after they took a loss to the Los Angeles Lakers. They have a chance tonight. They have a chance tonight to get back to the 4th seed and then hold on to it. They get back to the 4th seed tonight, right? They're going to need some help from Philadelphia. But if they get back to the 4th seed tonight, they can hold on to it. They control their own destiny. But they got to get back to it. It's got to happen tonight. Now, they can't control what happens with the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. They can't control that. But they can control whether or not they win tonight over the San Antonio Spurs. So taking a quick look at the standings. Right now, Philadelphia is in first place in the Eastern Conference at 47-22. The Brooklyn Nets are 46-24. 1.5 games behind Philadelphia. So Brooklyn, they need to try to win tonight. I'm not exactly sure what the season series is. My guess is that Philadelphia has probably won the season series, and if they win tonight, they can lock it up. Because there were at least 2 games that I think Brooklyn did not bring out there. There was the whole controversy, why didn't KD play against Philadelphia and all of that kind of stuff. I think Philadelphia has the season series. I will check to be sure. And if Philadelphia wins tonight, they can probably clinch that number 1 seed. So we'll see what happens there. Brooklyn's in the number 2 seed, currently speaking, at 46-24. The Milwaukee Bucks are 44-25. The Atlanta Hawks are in the 4th seed at 39-31. The New York Knicks and the Miami Heat are tied at 38-31. But since Miami owns the tiebreaker, they're in the 5th seed. So the Knicks need Miami to lose tonight, and then they've got to win. If they do that, they'll be in the 4th seed, and they'll be in the driver's seat. All they got to do is win out, which means they got to beat the Charlotte Hornets and beat the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are currently in the 7th seed at 35-35. The Charlotte Hornets are in the 8th seed at 33-36. The Indiana Pacers, they're in the 9th seed at 33-36. And the Washington Wizards, they hold the 10th seed right now at 32-38. Their play-in position is still kind of in the balance. The Chicago Bulls are 29-40. 2.5 games behind the Washington Wizards. I'm not exactly sure what it is there, but they have a chance. If they win out, they could be 32-40. The Wizards need to win one more game. If they win one more game, they will knock the Chicago Bulls out of the play-in tournament. The best the Bulls can be is 32-40. The Wizards, they still have 2 games left. They get a win, they knock out the Chicago Bulls. All right, and I'm pretty sure it looks like they're probably going to be locked into that 10th seed right now. But I think the Washington Wizards can probably get into an 8th seed. That's neither here nor there when it comes to the New York Knicks, though. The Knicks are trying to climb to that 4th seed. Josh, I want to come to you. First, do you think that the Knicks will climb to the 4th seed? I mean, I think it's entirely possible, and they can do it. They just got to take care of business, and they need some help from the Philadelphia 76ers or the Milwaukee Bucks when it comes to the Miami Heat. And then, of course, if they remain tied with the Atlanta Hawks, they won the season series. Go ahead, Josh.
There's no question that the Knicks can climb up into the 4th seed. We're obviously going to need some help. Need some other team, Miami and Atlanta to lose some games, and we got to win our games. There's no question we can definitely get up there. Do I think it's going to happen? I'm not so sure. Miami locked down Boston in that game. They locked them down. So I really expect Miami to win out, to be honest with you. If I had to, put a lot of money on it, I would say the Knicks get to 5. And that's the highest they'll get. But I do think it's definitely possible for them to get to the 4th spot and overtake Atlanta because we own the tiebreaker against Atlanta.
Yeah,
I did read something that Atlanta is a division winner, so they're locked into the top 4 if they have a better record than the Knicks. I'm not sure how that works, but I think the Knicks can get to 5.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Even if Atlanta wins out and the Knicks win out, then the Knicks will, the Knicks own the tiebreaker. So even if their record is tied, the Knicks own the tiebreaker. What the Knicks really need is for Miami to lose one of these games. They need Miami to lose one of these games. We need Philadelphia to come to work tonight, knock out Miami, and the Knicks got to win. If you do that, the Knicks are in the driver's seat. Obviously, it's still up in the air because, they got 2 tough games versus the Charlotte Hornets and the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are kind of reeling right now with the loss of Jaylen Brown. So they're reeling. But let me ask you, Josh, you put out a video yesterday after the Knicks clinched, talking about playoff expectations, right? If the Knicks are not in the 4th seed, do you hold those same expectations that you talked about last night? And you can talk about the video a little bit and then answer the question. Tell us what you said in the video and then answer the question. And people can go check the video as well.
Please do, and leave the comments in the comment section. What I was talking about was in regards to the Knicks in the middle tier, right? Them playing against either Miami, was not going to be Boston anymore, Miami and Atlanta, right? I feel like we played tough against Miami, even though they swept us in the regular season. 2 of those games came down to the wire. It was like, right down to the end of the game. And we were missing some key parts in those games. So in Atlanta, we beat them, all the games that we played them. So I just feel like if the Knicks go out in the playoffs and they lay an egg and they completely just get destroyed, to me, I just think that's a failed season because the expectations have changed. In the beginning of the season, we didn't expect the Knicks to win any games or win games that, they were not supposed to win. But as the season's going on, we've seen this team progress and play well and start, locking up teams defensively. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, outside of Knicks fans, no one else cares about the regular season. It's all dictated, it's all playoffs. So I get we haven't been in the playoffs in a very, very long time. I'm very happy with Tom Thibodeau's doing with this team, but this is playoff basketball and we got to show up, okay? Because I guarantee you if the Knicks get swept in that first round and they completely, lay an egg, no one is going to care about what happened in the regular season. Those 12 or that 13-game winning streak, no one's going to care about it. It's all about the playoffs. If the first round goes to a 7-game series and the Knicks lose that 7-game series, that's a little bit of a different story. But I'm talking about laying an egg and just completely, getting blown out, particularly against Miami and Atlanta. So that's where I was coming from in that video. Guys, definitely go check it out and let me know what you think.
So, does your mindset change? I know. Does your mindset change if the Knicks are in the 6th seed and they play Milwaukee and they get swept?
No, my mindset does not change because the Knicks can compete with Milwaukee as well.
Okay, I too believe that the Knicks can compete
I'm not going to say they're going to win the series.
Okay,
but they can sit in that game in 6 games easily because Giannis is not a playoff performer. He's really not. I mean, what has Giannis done in the playoffs? I get his team has been going to the playoffs. He's a, 2-time MVP, I think. You know what I mean? But come playoff time, Giannis has come up very, very small. And with the way the Knicks play defense, their defense is I feel like they can give Giannis fits. So, if the Knicks can force Giannis to 6 games or even a 7-game series, I think that's a little bit different than them going out laying an egg and just going an over. You know what I'm saying? Particularly getting blown out and stuff of that nature. So,
okay. So one last question, then I'm gonna pass it to Isaiah. So you don't hold any stock. You don't
Isaiah, why not me?
Because he just got here and he had his hand raised.
You don't need to talk yet.
But anyway. So you don't hold any stock. You don't hold any stock. And even if they get swept in the first round, that they built something that they built a foundation that you can grow off of. You don't hold any stock in that.
I do hold some stock in it, but I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, the playoff is what matters. And I'm not saying the Knicks are going to go win a championship. I'm not going to say, that they're going to steamroll over some teams in the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, in order for us to be relevant, a lot of times we complain about what the media is not doing when it comes to the Knicks, right? The trolls. Why is the media all constantly trolling the Knicks? Well, it's because we haven't been relevant in the playoffs. If you look back in the 90s, the 90s teams were making the playoffs every year, and they were going deep in the playoffs. They were respectable. Teams feared coming to Madison Square Garden. And I feel like in the regular season, that's what started to happen a little bit. But if the Knicks go out and lay an egg in the playoffs, everything that happened in the regular season, to me, it just kind of feels like a moot point in a way. I do hold some stock in it, though. I do think the organization is much better in the front office. We've seen, the structure is definitely there. But, we got to win some games in the playoffs, guys. I'm tired of these moral victories.
I get it. I just disagree. I think that what you've done, you got to take baby steps. You don't get there all in one leap. You know what I mean? You got to learn. I know Isaiah said that if his kid don't jump out running, if his kid ain't born running, he's going to send it back. That's what he said. But, you crawl, then you walk, then you run. You know what I'm saying?
That's morbid.
You crawl, then you walk, then you run. So right now, the Knicks, they're not running yet. They're barely walking. All right? They're getting to the playoffs. They're to the playoffs. Now,
the way Knicks fans act, it feels like they're running, like they're flying. The way Knicks fans act.
Because we're happy that they're in the playoffs after so many years. But the thing is, you got to get to, let them get in the playoffs, get a taste of it. Right? They got there. They built the foundation. We'll grow from there. Go ahead, Isaiah.
But yeah.
First and foremost, shout out to you, Sim. Shout out to Andy, Guillermo, Steph, Kev. Joshua.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, man, that is a very, very bad take. Sorry. It's a terrible take. Because, again, right, throughout the season, what you basically did was just moving the goalposts, which that's fine to a certain extent because again, right, during the season things change. But I mean, for you to say that it'd be a failure if the Knicks get swept or if the failure if we don't run deep, I mean, Josh, you got to put context in that. Like besides D Rose and Taj Gibson, no one on this team literally has playoff experience.
But if we we get beat by 20 points each game, that's a problem, right?
Let him finish though. Let him finish. I'm gonna get to you, Kev. I got you.
Again,
all right.
Yeah, come on, Kev. You look like a.
I'm just asking a question. I'm not a reverend today.
you look like a DMV instructor. But no. So
come on. Let's get to it because I don't have a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I know. So, but again, right, the Knicks are playing with house money, right? We're playing with house money because we've beat every expectations this season. And just for us getting in the playoffs, right there, that's the ultimate house money. Everything else after this is literally grave. It's like icing on the cake. Again, right? I'll do an example like this. I know some of y'all older, so you remember the 96 Lakers, right? 96, 97 Lakers?
Yeah.
They had Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant player, had a young Kobe Bryant. They didn't do squat in the playoffs. They got killed. It takes baby steps. And guess what? 3 years later, after those playoff experience, They won a championship. I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying the Knicks or the Lakers. Or listen, even again, Sim, Andy, you guys know the 80 Bulls. They lost in the playoffs how many years? But you get the experience. You're asking a Knicks team with no experience to beat a Milwaukee Bucks team that has a reigning MVP, a high starter in Chris Middleton, and these guys have playoff experience. You guys want us to beat them, and I get it, right? We do match up with market a little bit, but they're most likely going to beat us. Most likely, it's not the birth people bubbles.
Okay.
So let me pass the mic. Let me get around because I too believe that we can beat Milwaukee as well. I do. I think that we match. I do think we can beat them. I just don't think if we ended up getting swept, I don't think the season is lost. But go ahead, G-Mo. Then I'm coming to Kevin.
I just don't understand like how in a season where the vast majority of us, and rightfully so, did not have the Knicks even sniffing the playoffs. Now, if we get swept by teams who have playoff pedigrees, that it'll be a loss, or like it'll be a failure of a season when literally. Now, I don't believe what the Rioters be saying. I don't really put much credence into that. But you create an environment where it's better for free agents, right? There's some type of stability with the front office. The owner seems to be somewhat persona non grata regarding his history and his past. You got a team where players are literally playing for the coach and everybody's extolling this coach. It ain't like a situation like a George Carl where people hate the guy, but they're good enough, right? Like the Supersonics. And let's be honest, I guess it's controversy for controversy's sake, but I expect this would be a little bit better than that because when everybody praised that Mark Jackson team, right? The Warriors team, right? That the last team that he was on, right? Everybody thinks that was a success, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That team lost in the first round. The year before that, they were in the Western Conference Finals or semifinals, excuse me. So then that year, if you take out the championship, I know they went to a championship, but that year with Mark Jackson, that last one, everybody says, oh, Mark Jackson's the architect. They regressed. But everybody here would have said that that was a successful team, right? Even without, hindsight being that they won a championship with Steve Kerr. So it's like, Knicks fans, let's leave the hyperbole without substance for ESPN, because ESPN was doing that yesterday. The same ESPN that was killing us all season talking about the Knicks this, the Knicks that. They ain't gonna do that. The Knicks come out, surprise people. Now they have to change it. Instead of giving the Knicks props, they say, the Knicks going to be a failure if they don't win in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. So you're talking about a team, but again, a former MVP, a system. Now, I know we beat the Bucks twice, right? The first season, the help confuse them or to stop Giannis, and they couldn't hit from outside. The day after, they set a record for threes. The second game, they mollywopped us. The third game, they didn't play with 5 of their guys. So to sit and say that, if they sit there and they mollywop us, we talk about, they get killed in the playoffs. Yeah, they got killed by arguably better teams in the playoffs than we are right now, compared to a lot, take those teams the past few years that beat them. So let's not say, if we get no, it would be disappointing, obviously, because we all want to win. But to say that the whole season's a failure, despite everything that's been built up to get us a level of respectability, get us to a point where Julius Randle, a guy I was not a fan of at the beginning of the season, to the point where now people call him a franchise player. RJ Barrett, who some people here said he's not a good shooter. I don't know he's shooting exactly now, probably 39, but 40% from 3. A guy who had to fight against what those coaches were doing last year. A team that took IQ, make a rookie like that, basically one of the better rookies in the league in terms of scoring, being a combo guard. You're taking a whole bunch. Mitch, knows it well, making him look like, granted, he's a good defensive player, but he might get a bag this season. To say that, building all those things and then having cap flexibility, having 2 guys you could build around Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, and that's not a success for years to come, it's just a short-sighted statement for shock value.
I never said all of that.
Let me come to Kev. Let me come to Kev because I don't know if Kev is somewhere in the middle or not. And then I'm gonna come around. Then I'll come back to you, Josh. All right. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was gonna say was, I agree with Isaiah and I'm just calling him G because I keep getting Gilmore's name wrong, so I'm just gonna call him G. So I agree with G, but I also see a little bit of what Josh is talking about, because the body of work that we've put, that Tibbs laid out for us and that the players executed, you would tend to believe that when the playoffs, that we're here, that they're going to have a game plan and they're going to work extremely hard. Now, if we do play a Milwaukee and we get beat each game by 15 or 20 each game, I'll be disappointed. It's not a failure. It's not a failure. It's just a deep disappointment because we know what this team was capable of throughout the whole season because of the body of work.
But Kev, there's a difference between playoff basketball.
I understand that. I understand that. I'm not saying
I agree with that.
And again, I'm
they
not
should be able to
saying
get one game. I mean, come on, 1 or 2 games.
exactly.
No matter what.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the body work. I'm not going to be. It's not a failure. It's just a disappointment. Now, if we take them 7 games, and we lose, I don't have a problem with that. That's still a great. I mean, overall, it's still a great season for what we've had for 7 years, for a decade. So I'm not going to throw darts at these guys for what they've done, even in these playoffs, because like a lot of people on this panel, except for me, I said they will win 35 plus and make it and make it to the playoffs. And then other people said we're aiming of getting in a play-in. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. So already those expectations have been exceeded heavily. They've been exceeded. So Isaiah, whatever happens now is icing on the cake, but I'm looking for more. I'm looking for more dessert.
Now, see, I do agree that as you progress through a season or through whatever it is that you're doing, you become, what I want to say,
adapt your expectations.
You adapt your expectations, right? You get better. You say, okay, now we expect that we can win this game or we can win that game, because you grow as a team. And so your expectations, I believe, do change as you're going along in a season or in anything that you're doing, right? As you get better, your expectations change. That can happen mid-season, I think. I think it can happen mid-season. I don't think everything has to be, well, we expected them to not even be close, and then we see how they develop and change as a team. I think your expectations can change. You know what I mean? Steph, what do you think?
I think everybody could be right. I mean, I if the Knicks get blown out in the playoffs and they don't win not one game, I don't think the season itself is a loss. Like Grandma was pointing out step by step the things that the Knicks have done this season to change as a franchise, to build this team. You got a coach in place. So I don't think the season is a loss. However, if the Knicks go into the playoffs and they don't win not one game, they get blown out. I don't care who they play. And they don't get one game, I'm very disappointed. I'm not going on who they were before the season. I'm going on who they have become as the season has evolved, especially if we play a team like Atlanta, who doesn't have any playoffs experience as well. You go in and you play Atlanta and you get blown 0-4. No. Now, if you want to say Atlanta's a better team, they are a scary team, but you should be able to get 1 or 2 games. You just can't go in there and just get blown out and get swept by Atlanta. I'm disappointed because I'm looking at how the Knicks have evolved as a team since the beginning of the year. Milwaukee, you should at least be able to get 1 game, And if you do get swept, it should not be, where you got blown out each of those games, right? To me, I just can't. I just don't see that. If that happens, the Knicks were injured or they just didn't show up. Because I don't really see those teams being so much better than the Knicks that you're going to get blown out every single game. I just don't see them being that much better than the Knicks. Now, am I saying the Knicks can lose in the first round? Yes, they can. They absolutely can lose in the first round. But how they lose is important.
And I do think how they lose matters because it does set your barometer of how close are we and what do we need to add to this team to get better.
Right.
Exactly. So it does tell a story. It definitely tells a story on, do we have, what do we have here? Like if the Knicks get to the Eastern Conference Finals, you might be saying, wow, we just need one more guy. If the Knicks get swept in the first round, you might say
everything.
There's some things we got to do. So, so I think it does tell a story.
But the thing is, to me, that we all know we're just not one player away. We all know that. We all know.
I think we're one player away. And there's a lot of people that think we're one player away.
Well, Josh, no, this.
We're
we're not one player.
Listen, that's his opinion, and you got your opinion.
It depends on who the player is. If it's AD, we might be one player away. It depends on who the player is.
Yeah, let's be honest.
But look, look about so Sam, think about this though. To me, right? I look, for example, right? People don't like to talk about it, but look at the Brooklyn Nets. People don't like that, but we had literally almost a similar season as the Brooklyn Nets they did last year. Before, not the year, but the year before they got KD and Kyrie. They proved that they were sucky for like 4 or 5 years, not making the playoffs. Then they got a grit and grind team, fun team. Everybody, they're hard-working guys. And look, do any of y'all remember? I think they faced the Philadelphia Sixers, and I think it's not an because it's the same thing.
It is because I think this team is better than that Brooklyn Nets team. I think this team is better than that Brooklyn Nets team. No, I'm not because I think this team is better than that team.
But Sam, you're not letting me finish though, bro. All I'm saying is that when we pretty much followed the same path as them, a grit and grind team. They did what they had to do. They had an all-star. We had an all-star. They went to the playoffs. I think they faced the Sixers, something like that. They lost in 4 or 5. They lost in 5. I think either 5 or 6 games. Nobody remembers that.
No, listen, I get that.
I said, do that. I don't have a problem with that.
I get that. What I'm saying to you is, I think this team, like you and I say, if me and you were on the same path, I would be ahead of you, although we're on the same path.
I doubt that.
I'm pretty positive. I would be ahead of you. So there's a difference. Who's closer to the finish line? I think this team is closer to the finish line than that team was. I know, you're gonna say then they added Kyrie, they added, KD and so on and so forth. I get it. All I'm saying is what you do in the playoffs this year determines how you add to this team.
But Sam, we know. But Sam,
no, you don't. I mean, listen. You have an opinion on how you know, but I guarantee you, the New York Knicks organization, if they get swept or mollywop, like G-Mo likes to say on his video titles, the Knicks get mollywopped. I mean, looking like I'm dying.
Disappointment.
But if that happens, the players, I guarantee you, the expectations for this team in that locker room is much different, and what they expect and feel that they can do. Hold up. And you talk about Leon Rose and those guys, they are the decision makers. They're going to look at this first round playoff matchup to say, where do we go from here? How close are we really? You might think that they're 3 players away. They are looking to say, how close are we? We're going to look at this playoff matchup and see how close we are.
So, Sim, right? Okay. All right. I want you to think like this because from my example, for what I see.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
What's up, Pat?
Let me ask you a question. So what you're saying is if the Knicks get blown out, whoever they play, if they lose the series 0-4 and get blown out each game, that's okay because we did better than we expected to.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we
okay.
But I also feel like hold on. I also feel like let me ask you this. Are you saying this? And then I want you to go quick because I want to get to Andy. Are you saying it doesn't matter with this team if they get swept or they go to the Eastern Conference Finals? They still need to add a lot to this team to be good.
Yes.
But see, that's why I disagree. I think if they get swept, you look and you say, yeah, we got some work to do. If they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think that changes how you look at this team and what you need to add.
Expectations. Still gotta add, but it changes what you
go ahead, Isaiah.
That doesn't change because, again, right, we're thinking about the season. 1, I can tell you right now, 1, we got to get rid of Elfrid Payton. 2, we got to get a small forward. We got to get a real reliable first, the second, the third option. We need a reliable one of those 2. Because RJ Barrett or Julius Randle, 2. Either Julius Randle could be the 1, or we need to get a reliable 1. And we need to get a better bench. And we can't rely. You can't rely on a 32-year-old D Rose. If we plan on re-signing him, You can't rely on that going on the future. We see. Listen, he might not play today because he played a lot of minutes.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Listen, no one's disagreeing with you. No one's disagreeing with you. But there's a lot of teams, even even championship level teams, no, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is it changes the way it changes the way you have to add players. You may think, you know what? We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. This guy over here that we add may be enough, and this guy, a point guard and this guy may be enough. Where if you only get blown out in the first round, you might, we still need to add a superstar. If you go to the Eastern Conference Finals, you may not think you have to add a superstar. You may need to add more depth. So it changes the way that you think. It's not about the position. We know the positions that we need help at, but it's about the caliber of those players that you add at those positions. And where you go in the playoffs and what you do will help you determine the caliber of those players, how much you pay those players, and all those type of things. Because, we got this far to go, or maybe we got this far to go. Andy.
Yes, and you want me to continue on this topic or twist it a little bit?
I want to get your take because we didn't hear your take. I want to get your take. Then we can move on and talk about San Antonio because I'm running out of time.
Yeah, so for me, it doesn't matter if we get the 6th seed, the 4th seed, and whoever we play. I believe that we are not going to get swept. But even if we do get swept by, a small margin of points, close games, and, at least competitive games, I'm going to be fine with it. I'm going to be pouting for a week, but, I'm going to be waiting for the next season to start. If we're going to get blown out by 20, 30 points each and every 4 games, I'm going to be mad a little bit longer than a week, believe me. So
and that has nothing to do with the playoffs if the Knicks get beat like that.
Yeah, and it's nothing because we got to realize that we're going to be basically rookies in the playoffs, right? We got guys that basically don't have playoff experience. There are going to be other teams like that, which is Atlanta, but they're going to be great teams in the playoffs like Miami, which was the last year's Eastern Conference, and the finalist. And, the Sixers, the Bucks, that they were all, in the playoffs for years now. So, they got more experience. And I'm with the notion that, baby steps first, then you learn how to walk, then learn how to, run and stuff like that. The expectations rose after we got, the better record. But what's going to happen if, for example, this year we're going to finish in the fourth seed, right, in the East. And next year, after the season, we're going to be like the 7th seed in the East. It can happen. It can happen easily.
It can happen.
So, Sam, I just want to add one quick thing. Yeah. So first and foremost, I think, I know this is, it is a controversial take. That's why we have our, different sides of it or whatever. But I think, first and foremost, I think the Knicks will be formidable. I don't think they're going to get swept or anything like that. I think this is a good enough team to do that. Second thing that I want to say is, we don't have that many players that have been in the playoffs. But we do have Tom Thibodeau, who's been in the playoffs, who's been deep in the playoffs and deep playoff runs. We talk so much about what Thibodeau has done for the team in the regular season. You don't think that can translate over into the playoffs and putting his players in the positions they need to be to win series? I think that's very, very important. That's an important chess piece to have in the playoffs. And the third and last thing that I want to say is, we talk about all these teams with all this playoff pedigree and everything like that. The Knicks are better than Boston, and they have all the playoff pedigree in the world. The Knicks can compete with Miami. We lost to Miami 1 possession at the end of games. Brooklyn's of the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So all this about playoff pedigree, you know what I mean? I think it is important, but at the same time, the Knicks can compete. They can compete with these teams because we beat these teams during the regular season. So I think that can translate over to the playoffs.
I got to agree with you.
Hold on. We are going to move. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. The only other thing I want to say is I don't think this is controversial for controversial sake. I think it's some people have an opinion and some people have an opposite opinion. It's a good topic to discuss. Some people say, hey, the bar is moved. We should be doing this, that, and this, and that because we're better than half the teams in the Eastern Conference. Some people say, nah, I'm just going to be okay with losing if we get swept or whatever it is. So, it's a good conversation starter.
Why are we fighting to stop Miami from taking our spot? Like, we're so much better than Miami. We lost to them 3 times, and now we're hoping that
but that's the way the playoffs go.
Yeah, but still,
I think it does.
I'll take the competition.
No, I think it does because we beat Atlanta 3 times. We beat Atlanta 3 times, and no one is saying that they can't possibly beat us.
Yeah,
right?
They
could beat us. So why is it that we can't possibly beat Miami?
So they changed coaches too. So.
Hold on, wait.
No. Hold on. No. I'm not going to stop it.
They got better defense than it.
Hold up.
No,
stop.
Come on, bro.
No, I'm not going to stop. Because the argument about Miami is that we lost to the. But see, that's what, everyone's crazy because they don't agree with you. No, it's a difference of opinion, right? What I'm saying is we lost to Miami 3 times. So we don't want to play them in the playoffs. Atlanta lost to us 3 times, but no one is saying, but it's okay if they beat us, though. Right?
So if they would have beat us, the controversial take was that this season would be a failure if we got swept in the playoffs.
I get that.
That's the original point.
I know. I understand
whether we talking about Miami and what we're saying,
because you brought it up.
What we like to do, because we've done good this season, is like we like to discredit what some of these other teams have been doing for some time now. Not granted, Miami first.
We beat them. We beat Boston
around the 8th, 9th seed for years.
We beat Boston without Jason Tatum.
Right? They have a
beat them by 50, bro.
For a while. They for us talking about Josh has literally just said coaching could matter in the playoffs, right? You're talking about Spoelstra and your boy Pat Riley, who've been there and have seen 3 different regime changes and be able to succeed. Relatively speaking, obviously didn't win last year with the Heat. Been able to succeed with 3 different teams. And we're sitting here talking about, we had 1 possession against Miami, but we lost to them 3 times. They have a defense that stifles us 3 games. Like
2 of those games came down to the last possession. You're missing the point, Josh.
Of course, like Andy said,
what's the point? The point is that we can lose.
This season will be a disappointment. Like, come on, Sim, where's the substance in that?
But what I'm saying, I disagree with saying where's the substance in that. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's go to the next topic. I just disagree with saying where's the substance of calling somebody crazy because they have an opinion. Isaiah did.
The statement of saying that the season is a disappointment has no substance.
But I mean, to you it doesn't. To you it doesn't. To you it doesn't.
Okay, put like this.
Somebody else
just call me crazy. I think we can win the whole thing. Just call me crazy.
We'll move on to the next thing. I'm just saying, just because.
I didn't call anybody crazy, by the way. I didn't say.
I said Isaiah did. I said Isaiah did. What I'm saying is,
I didn't say nobody's gonna say that's crazy.
What I'm saying is, just because someone has a difference of opinion,
just disagree.
Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
That's one thing about MBK that sets us apart from all of the other shows. We disagree. We say we disagree, but we don't disrespect people.
But we're not disrespecting nobody.
Disrespect anybody.
You say that the question is not even of substance. To me, that sounds disrespectful.
No. I didn't say the question. Well, when you say it, please get it right. I never said that the question itself was not of substance, but to sit here and say that this whole season, compared to where we were before,
but that was the question.
Though. Disappointment. This is what ESPN said yesterday, and they were getting killed because like dogs. There were literally no expectations for the Knicks to do anything this year, and they're in the top 6 now. Not going to be in the play-in for a team that again doesn't have has one of the worst offenses. Like, come on, I used to say that that's a disappointment.
The offense is getting better.
I disagree also. I don't think it's a failure either. But what I'm talking about is just how we engage each other. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I disagree too. I don't think the season will be a failure if we get blown out. I mean, I'll
be disappointed.
I don't think that should happen, but I don't think that says anything about the season. So I disagree as well.
If you had expectations that the Knicks weren't going to do anything and they exceeded that, despite what they do in the playoffs, you come back and say that if they fail in the playoffs that you didn't expect initially is a failure.
But
you know what?
Here's the thing. I'm not still using my evaluation of the Knicks at the beginning of the season. My opinion has evolved over time.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
body of work.
let's
The
go
body
on.
of
Let's
work.
go on. Let's talk about San Antonio. Let's go on. Let's talk
Body
about
of
San
work.
Antonio.
To what you thought about
So
them
if
before
we're
the
up
season
3-1
started?
in the finals, if we're up 3-1 in the finals and we lose, that's a disappointment. Even though you had
No, nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said that at all.
That's the whole thing.
No, nobody said that at all. That's way off. That's way off base. Nobody said that.
If you were not expecting us to be in the playoffs at all, you thought this was going to be a build-up season, and you skipped steps in a good way. You had faster than expected, and you get to the point. Okay, put like this: if we got to the playoffs, right, and we got swept, but Derrick Rose was hurt. God forbid, IQ was hurt. Right, so there's context. Like
then there's nuance to it. Exactly, there's nuance to it.
That's
right, and that's what I was talking about.
The fact that your expectations at the beginning, I'm looking at the wrong camera. The fact your expectations were not there at the beginning of the season, and they got to the
all right. This is what we're gonna
It's
do.
irrelevant what I thought they were at the beginning of the season. It means absolutely nothing. This is who they are now. And we have to grade them
He doesn't believe
based on who they are now.
right now
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on to. We are gonna move on to the next thing. We're gonna move on to the next. We're gonna move on to the next topic. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this. I guarantee you, in the New York Knicks locker room, they've changed their expectations and where they and what they think they can do in the playoffs. And if they get swept, I'm pretty sure they would feel like they should have and could have done more. Am I going to say the season is lost? No. Not even close, in my opinion. Right? But let's talk about the San Antonio Spurs because we got to win this game tonight. Right? We got to get this game tonight if we want to even get to the 4th seed. All right, so we're going to talk about that. Let me get to a couple super chats first, then we'll get to it. Amid Belfort, thank you for the super chat. He said, hey, family, if you've been broke for like forever and you guys and a guy gives you $1,000, you take it and run. Let's enjoy this playoff run. Knicks fan for life. We're going to enjoy it. No matter what happens, we're going to enjoy it. Bob Telflar, he said, Rose is great. He said, you add either way, and he mentioned Kawhi Leonard. We'll see what, I don't think the Knicks are, going to get Kawhi Leonard, but, it's nice to dream. We dreamt about this season, and it's here. Die Hard Knicks podcast, he said, I'm just here to let everybody know Eru's Kings won the 2021 NBK Fantasy League. All right. Flip Mode said, I love the energy in this chat. Just chill. We're talking over each other. I agree. He said, but we are here. And then
we are here.
We are here. We are here.
We are here. We are here.
The Knicks are definitely here. And let me get to one more super chat. Ian Clark. He said, are we upset the Knicks made the playoffs? Because I can't tell by watching this show. You know what? I don't think anybody's upset that the Knicks made the playoffs. I think it's all about, what are we going to do when we get in the playoffs and their expectations of being in the playoffs. I think it's all about that right there. But let's talk about this San Antonio game because we got to get this win tonight if we want to move up into the 4th seed. All right, so first things first is look at the injury report, and this is from 1:30. There is an update from the New York Knicks, but at the 1:30 report, Reggie Bullock was questionable. Alec Burks, questionable. Emmanuel Quickly, questionable. Mitchell Robinson, of course, out. Derrick Rose, questionable. And Luca Vildoza is not with the team. A little bit later, the Knicks PR put out a report that says Bullock, Burks, and Rose have been upgraded to probable. Okay, so they will probably play tonight. That's much stronger. That means they're going to be on the floor playing. Right, they're going to be on the floor playing. For the San Antonio Spurs, Trey Lyles is out. Lucas Samanic is out. Derek White is out. All right, this is a team in the Spurs, man, that I'm never comfortable playing the San Antonio Spurs. Ever comfortable playing the Spurs. Obviously, they got Greg Popovich over there, right? And he's a heck of a coach. Anytime you play the Spurs, they're gonna have the type of ball movement that I think bothers the Knicks, right? They pass well, they cut well, They play disciplined on the offensive side of the ball. That always scares me when the Knicks are playing a team because, those type of offenses to me, offenses that move and cut, give us problems every time we play them. You know what I mean? And San Antonio's, they have that type of offense. They are, that's just what Greg Popovich preaches. Ball movement, man movement. You know what I mean? A sharing type of an offense. So, it bothers me. I do think that the Knicks are playing at a very, very high level. And I believe they know what's at stake. You see Julius Randle, he said, we're not done. Hopefully that's resonating throughout the entire team, and that they have things that they want to accomplish, small goals that they want to accomplish this season. And, of course, the next one, they've clinched. The next one is to accomplish getting that 4th seed. The Knicks might just have to win out to do that. All right. Looking at the lineups, and then I'm going to get around and, talk to you guys about these matchups here. Looking at the lineups, most likely, Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel. And then for the San Antonio Spurs, you got DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jacob Poeltl. And, you look at that team, you say, well, they don't really have, they don't have anybody that we got to really be worried about. But Murray, he's a tough customer. He can play defense, right? So he can put some pressure on you defensively. He can also put pressure on you at the rim. He can shoot the ball. He can go to the cup. He's quick. He's a guy that I think you got to watch out for. Of course, DeMar DeRozan, he can get hot and score the basketball. So they got some things that we got to watch out for playing against them. They out-rebounded us the last time we played them. They also had 31 assists the last time we played them. They shot 43% from the three-point line. So we got to be ready to play some defense against this team. Andy, and I only got about 10 minutes left, guys, 11 minutes. The conversation, about the playoffs wasn't supposed to take that long because I got to leave and get the basketball practice myself. But go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, from the starting lineups, my favorite matchup, of course, the RJ Barrett versus DeMar DeRozan. Comparing those two players before, RJ got drafted, skill set wise, it's going to be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Do we really want to win this game? Of course we do. Will Tibbs show that in playing major minutes for guys like D-Rose, Julius, and stuff? We're going to see if it's going to be a close game. I'm guessing that, competitive spirit of Tibbs isn't going to let him, bench guys and let them even get a breather of rest. He's going to go like it's the last game of the season and we're still fighting for, a playoff seeding. So it's going to be probably that type of game. Let's hope we can manage to pull it out.
Yeah, let's hope we can. Let me come over. I'm coming around the horn. Let me come over to Josh.
I expect the Knicks to come out with way more energy than they did the first game. It felt like the last game they just didn't have any energy when they went to San Antonio. Like we were lackadaisical on defense. Just kind of flopping around all over the place, and we couldn't really close out on shooters. So I expect the Knicks to come out with way more energy tonight, and I don't think it'll be the same type of result like it was last game. And San Antonio doesn't shoot that many threes. They're not that good of a three-point shooting team, and quite frankly, the numbers say they don't shoot that many threes to begin with. So I think we'll be fine in this game. This is the type of game that we want to play, and I think the energy in the building is going to be ecstatic. So let's go Knicks.
All right. Big shout out to Noel Leon. He said Miami is the hottest team right now. They're not going to lose. I mean, they're playing basketball. They're in playoff mode right now. You know what I mean? And they're playing tough. I'm hoping that Philadelphia can do us a favor, though.
Yeah, remember, at one point, we were the hottest team.
Yeah, right. At one point, we were. Gmo?
Yeah, the Spurs game is going to be tough because one thing that Popovich likes to do is play against, at least last game, play against our weakness, right? At the time, they didn't attempt a lot of threes, but they shot 42%, 43% from three, and they made 18 threes, right? You saw what they did with Trey Lyles, Keldon Johnson, and that's how the game kind of got out of hand. It got kind of out of hand by them, but they used the three as the equalizer. So expect them to, again, set picks on guys off the ball to get it to guys in the corner to hit shots. Expect DeMar DeRozan to be that ever-annoying mid-range guard like he was last time. I don't think they got Trey Lyles. I'm not sure Trey Lyles is playing. I might be wrong. But, again, they're going to try to pick apart our weaknesses by hitting from the outside, even though that's not necessarily a game. Also, Jake Pirtle, that guy's name, he's had a decent game against us on the inside. So, again, it can be one of those games where because they don't have a Jokic or whoever, or Vucevic, you don't pay attention to the front court guys. Expect a lot of screens, like I said, perimeter shooting, and DeMar DeRozan to open us in the mid-range. But it's going to be a testy game against Popovich, who I think right now they're still in the 10th spot, right? So
yep. They're still in the 10th spot. And Trey Lyles is out with a right ankle sprain.
Trey Lyles out?
Yeah, he's out. He's out with a right.
Patty Mills and
Kareem?
Hey, what's up, son? How's it going, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You missed the fireworks. You came in at the tail end of the fireworks.
Oh yeah, I was doing a final project for the semester, so I was watching it. I was watching the classic, Isaiah talking for like. But listen,
like it.
Oh yeah, you find that funny, huh, Kev?
Yes, I do.
Don't you got to teach somebody how to drive?
I saw
Kareem go. Go ahead, Kareem.
Last night though, I saw the debate last. That joint had me dying. Not last night when we last played. But yeah,
with me and Isaiah. My bad, Kareem. That was all over the place. Andy posted pictures with my eyes all bugged out and everything.
Yeah, that was me.
Go ahead, Kareem.
Yo,
somebody did.
That, bro. Let me tell you something. I was so tight, bro. I wanted to kick my TV, bro. That's how tight that last game had me. But I'm over it though. But anyway, I do agree with what everyone said, and just to add on to it, we cannot play down to nobody because this is a team that's in the 10th spot, and they may take pride on messing up other people's playoff runs, like trying to, get into good position. So we can't play down them. I honestly think we'll win this game. I think we're going to win the last 3 games, to be personal. But this game, like you said, we got to, don't let them space the court, play the passing lanes. And honestly, man, I would just let DeRozan go off and just lock down everybody else. Make sure they don't shoot that 42% against us, because once we start letting them space the floor and, we don't put lean on them, they're going to start knocking them down. And I will say, to be fair, we have gotten better since we last played. We played them a while ago.
Yeah, I think, you said, play let DeRozan go, but DeJounte Murray can ball. I don't think you're just going to leave him open.
He always kills us.
No, that's why I said, stop everybody else. Just let this dude mid-range. I'd rather give up 2s than 3s. I don't want to give up 3s.
Yeah. Big shout out to Dylan Alex. Thank you for the super chat. He said, 1 of 2 games I have to root for the Knicks. Just hoping for a Spurs W so we can have our spot in the play-in. Prayers for no injuries as well. Well, I don't know if you're, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking. I don't know if he's a Knicks fan or if he's a Spurs fan. I don't know what he's saying. I guess he's a Spurs fan.
He got a Spurs logo.
Yeah, I see the Spurs logo, but he says 1 of 2 games I have to root for the Knicks. Anyway, he wants the Knicks to lose tonight. I don't know. He wants the Knicks to lose tonight. So, no shout out to you, Dylan. Thank you for the super chat, but I can't shout you out because you want the Knicks to lose. Steph, go ahead, Steph.
We'll keep your money though, right?
I think this
I'm gonna keep the money though. I'm just messing with you, Dylan.
What money?
Go ahead, Steph.
I think this is going to be a tough game. San Antonio is well coached, but the Knicks should get this victory. I think the Knicks are very disappointed in what happened against the Lakers. I think they're going to come out pretty focused. I'm interested to see how RJ rebounds. He looked terrible the last game. I wasn't on the show when you guys discussed it. So I'm looking to see how he bounces back this game as well. And I think the Knicks get the victory and move into the 4th spot.
Yeah. Well, as long as Philly
win, right?
Yeah, as long as Philly wins. Yeah, Kev.
Yeah, I think we're gonna win this game. I mean, I always think, I'm always the optimistic and everything, not the pessimistic and everything. I think we can win this game. Didn't say that.
Well,
I think. So there you
Kareem,
go.
you lucky. Kareem, you lucky. You 6'5". Lucky, man.
Anyway, I think we can, we'll bounce back from what happened on Tuesday night, and glad it's on a glad it's 7:30 and not 10 o'clock and everything, so I can stay up for that whole thing and everything. And but I think we'll win tonight. I think we'll bounce back, and we'll wait to celebrate us getting to the playoffs then with a victory tonight. So there you go.
Yeah, no doubt. Playoff Bubba.
Wait, hold on. Real quick before I go, I just want to say the funniest thing, son, about the other night is that we was going at it, but people were like, "Yo, we had the hell chat divided." But the funny thing is, after that, we were just cool right after. Not even saying that we're not cool, but we were just talking right after. It was funny. That was one of the funniest moments. Me and you going back and forth. That just was funny.
Yeah, it's him and Gilmore going at it.
What happened?
I said it's usually him and Gilmore going at it.
Yeah,
I teach them. It's different.
Did you see that?
Let's not do that.
Right, Kev. All right, Kev.
Go ahead,
so this might be an unpopular opinion, a controversial opinion.
Soliloquy.
I don't think D Rose should play tonight.
You say you don't think he should play?
I don't think he should play tonight. I think that because this is like the second game in like a couple nights where we've seen D Rose hobble. And listen, to me, in my opinion, I don't care what. Like I would love to get the 4th seed. I really would, but I don't want to sacrifice D Rose legs for these last 3 games. We need him in the playoffs because again, I don't believe overpaying. Overpaying might play.
You just said it doesn't matter whether we win one game or not, so it doesn't matter. Play him.
I love stuff.
But his minutes had to go up real quick. I said his minutes had to go up because of the lack of good play of Alpha Page.
No, but what I'm saying is that
so play him less minutes. You can play him less minutes.
I'm saying this. I mean, I'd rather give him a game or two to rest for the playoffs. Me personally, because again, right, we're gonna face one of these teams, so it doesn't really matter.
I'd rather rest him during that Charlotte game.
Go ahead, Zay.
Yeah, but listen, we can win this game. I really do. I think we might sound crazy. I think we can win the game without D Rose if we have the good ball movement and everything. But I believe rest D Rose, we can still win this game. RJ Barrett just needs to have a good game, bounce back game, and Randall got to play good. And Frank played good. So listen, let's roll out with these guys, get D Rose a little bit of rest, and let's do what we do.
Only thing I would say is one, with Alec Burks and IQ coming back, hopefully that can help to spell some of those minutes. And two, he's a little bit older, and it's a little bit harder to get your engine rev back up. When you take some games off. So he may want to even just get out there, even if he only goes 15 minutes, just so he keeps his body moving, because he's already going to have his week layoff. He may just want to try to stay in rhythm. You know what I mean? If he can go, then he might go.
So I definitely, because I just want to be careful because, like I said, we've seen these couple of games where, we seen D-Rose take a fall and we're like, then he limps and then he then he starts walking again. That's a little scary for me because again, we just all know his history. I just don't want these 3 games to be sacrificed because again, when you're in the playoffs, I don't want to even see Alfred Payton. D-Rose should probably be starting. So
it's not changing. He's not going away. He's keeping the flow that he has until next season. Trust me, he's going to keep the flow that he has.
Deal with it.
Like he said, he's not. You don't change now. This ain't the time to change. You just stick with what you're doing. Yeah. It's been working. You stick with what you're doing until next season. Evergreen.
The concern is definitely valid, though. I feel concerned.
Yeah. But that's where I think that's where Emmanuel Quickly and Alec Burks come in because hopefully they can, like Alec Burks, maybe he can play down the stretch. I don't know. The last time he tried to play down the stretch is when he twisted his ankle. You know, we'll see if he goes with that. With those two guys back, I think, you know, you can give D Rose a little bit more rest.
But you know what though? You can catch all that tonight at 7:00 when Knicks leads in the podcast goes and is the play-by-play.
Nobody knows who Knicks leads in the podcast is. So anyway, Evergreen, go ahead.
Yo, Isaiah's worse, bro. His promo is like his promo is dyslexic. You got to
sponsored by Baby Back Ribs. Listen, you like you cook a mean barbecue though.
Listen, you can give me.
Let him go. Go ahead, Evergreen.
You can give me home court. You can give me away court. You can give me tennis court. You can give me Queens court. You can give me a soccer field, a football field. You can give me Bubba's field, right?
All right.
Knicks by 40. What are we talking about? What are we talking about today?
Oh my God.
Knicks by 40. What are we talking about? All right.
That's what I like to hear, baby. Barbecue chicken on the grill.
Right. Well, only reason Isaiah is allowed to talk is because that sweater is dope. That's it. Other than that,
I'm gonna let you say it.
Y'all better hope 76ers by 40 tonight.
That's what I want. Well, anyway, I'm about to head out of here. Legion, you're on at 7:00, right? Legion of Knicks podcast.
I said that.
Knicks of Legion.
What did he say? Legion of podcast again?
He said no. He said Knicks of Legion. He said Knicks of Legion podcast.
He was like,
hey, first of all I'm gonna say is that's the Knicks.
Okay. Anyway,
G-Mo. Shave that Fu Manchu beard.
That's pretty bad.
First of all, Kev, you look like you about to go to AA. Isaiah, you look
That's
like you modeled
bad.
for all the noodle pack.
But anyway, I am heading out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I am heading out of here. Legion, you are on at 7, correct? Tonight? G-Mo?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're on at 7, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, 7:00. Make sure you catch Legion of the Knicks podcast. Follow them throughout the game. All right, we'll be back on about 10:15 for the post game show, and hopefully we're talking about a Knicks win, ladies and gentlemen. And what we didn't get to was the keys to the game. So you know I'll just jump on this really quick because I got to get out of here. The keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen, for the New York Knicks tonight. To keep their goals in mind. Don't relax. Stay focused on what it is that you want to accomplish. Don't feel like, we clinched so we can let our foot off the gas. No, we got to continue to play with our goals in mind. We need to get off to a strong start. They're desperate. They're hungry to get into the play-in or stay in the play-in. We need to start off strong. We can't afford to come off to a slow start tonight. No defensive lapses. This is a team that can score the basketball if you give them the chances to. In the previous game, they had 31 assists. They shot 43% from the three-point line in the previous game against us. They smacked us. As Legion likes to say, they mollywopped us. So we need to get off to a strong start. No defensive lapses. Offensive and defensive rebounding. Ladies and gentlemen, if we box out in that last game versus the Los Angeles Lakers, we come away with a victory. We come away with a win, and we clinched that night. Offensive and defensive rebounding. We got to make it a priority tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. Let's keep the ball moving. Keep the ball moving. Low turnovers. Protect the basketball. We do these things, could possibly come out with a win, one step closer to that 4th seed. Hope that Philadelphia does their job tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Catch me tonight, 10:15 on the post-game show. Up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be peaceful.